2. 2 is the number for relationship. And the most important relationship we will ever have is with ourself. And when I say self, I mean with a capital S, Holy Spirit, our high self. The lower self is actually the mind that needs renewing. The high self is actually the spirit. So whether you call it God, infinite spirit, Holy Spirit, Lord, whatever you want to call that for your particular belief system, it is still being one with the Spirit. The two become one. And that's the most important oneness, is your oneness with the Spirit. To always know that you're loved. I mean, doesn't that support the positive attitude, to always know that you're loved and that you can rely on, you can get direction from, you can make choices? I made a deal with God a long time ago. I said, you know, I'm having a hard time, God, telling whether it's my mind answering or whether it's you answering. Have you ever had that problem? You pray about something and your mind's saying this, and you wonder, is that my mind or is that really God? Okay? Well, when I was battling with that, I said, God, how am I going to tell? You know, there was a time in my life when I actually had an audible voice from God, and I just followed it all the time, and it made my life easier. Okay? And then some things happened, and that voice became two voices. And the second voice was just opposite of that voice, and it said, I can imitate the good voice. That freaked me out, and I said, okay, no more voices. It's interesting how things happen. I was living in a foster home, I was very insecure, and I just needed guidance on little things, everything. I just asked. Well, and I got older, then I never wanted to be fooled again. I wanted to know that I was in God's will, following God's direction, and not getting confused with my mind. So I made it simple. I said, God, I've given you my heart. And so if there's anything you want me to do, just put it in my heart, and I'll follow my heart. And God, in case I make a mistake, and I get confused, and I follow my mind's thought instead of my heart, if that ever happens, God, then make the situation even better. That's the deal I made with God. And the reason why I can believe that is because I know that God knows my first intent is to follow God's will. My first intent is to follow God's will. And I know that God knows that. And therefore, if I do make a mistake, big deal, God turns it into something even better. What a deal, you can't go wrong. You talk about inner peace, come on. If that won't bring you inner peace, I don't know what will. Now, all of you in here that I've experienced being with you have a spirituality. You have a love of spirit, of life, whatever your belief system is. You want to do the very best you can to not only for your own well-being, but for others around you that you come in contact with. So is there anyone here that feels they don't want to live